So first, what I'm going to have you do is, if you want to take that pen, this is going to be a reading attitude survey. So you're just going to answer I think it's 15 questions. And then once you go through, you're going to mark the answer. Strongly agree to strongly disagree for each of the questions. All right.
What if I don't know that one?
You don't know? Think
No.
about some books that you read in 8th grade in English class. There's not any books that you can think of that stuck out to you?
No, I only can remember this year.
This year? Okay,
Yeah.
You could write some for this year. That's fine. And then, I know it doesn't say it, but if you wanted to, mark down, like, if you liked those books. Like, The Secret Life of Bee. Did you like that book?
Yeah.
Just write, like, draw a little line and then just put, I liked it.
What if I read no books on my own? We don't do
Then
that.
write no books. You've read at least how many total for the whole year?
Oh.
You've read The Secret Life of Bee. Right now you're reading what? Romeo and Juliet?
Romeo and Juliet, so it's 2.
So, at least 2. I'm sure there's a few more that you've read in class.
2. 2.
Right now?
Yeah.
Wait, it's June. In English class, you're telling me you've only read Romeo and Juliet all year?
We did. And then we, watched movies.
Movies that went with the book. Did
Yeah.
you read, what is that book called? The one with, the 2 guys in The American Dream?
No. All we did was read The Secret Life of Bees, and then we went into Romeo and Juliet.
Okay. Alright. So now what we're gonna do, you wanna just write your name on the top of that? Just that way I remember. Okay. I'm gonna take that from you. Now what I'm gonna have you do is that textbook that I just pulled up, this one, you're gonna read from this first page, The French Revolution Begins, and then you're gonna go to the end of the chapter, which is right here. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm gonna have you read that independently, just go through, and then I have some questions that are gonna follow the text after you read through it. Alright? Okay. So now that you've finished that reading, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you some of these questions. I want you to first try and answer the questions without looking back at the text. All right? So I'm going to go back up to the top just for now. All right. So for the first question, I have on here numbered just because there's not a lot of room on here and I want you to have enough space to write the answers down. I have, why does this text matter? So why do you think this text matters?
Because it helped us get new laws instead of having women not eat.
Okay, so write down. All right. The second question is, what does the bolded text signify? So in the actual textbook itself.
Oh, important words or the title of the what you're gonna read about.
Yeah. All right, the third question is, where are the terms and names listed?
At the top of the, or where it says, at the top of the page, or top of the lesson.
Yeah, lesson, chapter. Okay. What are the 3 estates? If you need to look back in the text, you can.
Yeah.
Here, I'll move it closer to you. Make sure you're looking at all the text.
So it is like they're divided into social classes.
Okay, so write that down. And there's a second part to this question. Okay, so, like, what are the names of the 3 estates?
So it would be, what is it, upper class, and then there would be middle class, and then, I don't know what the last one is.
Close. You might have to look at more than just the text itself. Look at the pictures, charts, everything.
Oh, it would be the king, the queen, and then the servant, or then the...
Okay, write that down. All right, the next question is, what did Marie Antoinette refer Louis as? If you need to look back through the text, you can. You got an answer?
Yeah.
Go ahead and write it. Okay. The next question is, how many people died during the storming of the Bastille?
Oh. 1,789.
Okay, write that down. Alright. So, the next question is going to be, what happened in 1789?
People faced threat for starvation.
What? The next question is, what is the title of this section?
The storm of Bastille.
Yeah, the title of this section, or like this chapter. I guess.
The French Revolution.
Okay. What are estates?
I was gonna say homes.
If you need to look back at it again.
Oh, state is like the general of like the army or whatever.
Keep looking.
It's a Assembly of Representatives.
Okay. What does tithe mean? T-I-T-H-E.
A church tax.
Good. All right, the next question is, who was Marie Antoinette?
The queen with Louis.
Good?
Yep.
What is deficit mean?
Debt.
Good. What was the great fear is the next question.
Wouldn't it would be starvation? Because
I don't know. Was that the last one? Yeah, you might have to flip the page. What was the new ideas about government and economic problems called?
would it be the France's chief rival? Is that? Yeah, it would be the France's chief rival.
You want me to repeat the question?
Yeah.
What was the new ideas about government and economic problems called?
Ooh. Would be the National Assembly.
Okay. All right. What did the first two estates have that the third did not?
Had many delegates. Yeah, many delegates.
That's what the first two had that the third didn't, was the delegates? You can always scroll up and stuff if you need.
be Army.
Okay. The next question is, what happened to the third estate?
Oh, they got locked into their meeting room.
Right. The next question is going to be, who assembled the National Assembly?
The French people.
Do you know who named it?
No. That name.
You want to write it? Just put in like a little parenthesis and then write it.
There.
Okay. The next question is, do you think Marie Antoinette was good for France?
No.
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 Why not?
Because she gave Louis bad advice. And she was unpopular in France.
Okay. All right. The next question is, do you think the third estate was treated fairly?
No.
Why?
Because they were locked into the meeting room while the other two were not.
All right, this is the last question I'm going to have you answer on there. And that's, what did peasants do over the rising price of bread?
Steal it.
Steal it?
Yeah.
Are you good? All right. If you want to come over here, I have questions right here that reflect with that. Okay. So, I'm going to steal your pen now. I was just kidding. I'm going to give that to Rylan. And then for you, I'm going to ask you now some questions. These questions are going to just be, you can answer out loud, and then I'll just kind of write. It's going to be like a little survey.
Okay.
All right? I want to make sure this is all of them, though. You know? Yeah, okay. So the first question is, what is the most important reason for reading this kind of material?
So we know about our history.
Why does your teacher want you to read this book?
To learn about what happened back then.
Okay. The next question is going to say, who's the best reader you know in social studies? So,
Mr. CARI.
Mr. CARI.
Yep.
And what does he do that makes him such a good reader?
He explains things. He explains it.
When he's reading, does he do anything that makes you think that he's a good reader?
No.
No? Okay. How good are you at reading this kind of material?
Not bad.
Not bad. How do you know?
Because I can read the lines and understand it.
What do you have to do to get a good grade in social studies within your class?
To do my work.
If the teacher told you to remember the information that was in this chapter, what would be the best way for you to do that?
Make little cheat sheets.
Why?
Because then I can study it before the test.
Have you ever tried using a graphic organizer?
Yes.
This pen is not that great. Okay. The next question is, if your teacher told you to find the answers to the question in the book, what would be the best way to do this?
To look at the bolded titles.
Okay. And then why?
Because it would be easier to find the information you're looking for.
And then have you ever tried previewing?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. The last question is, what is the hardest part about answering questions like the ones in this book?
Because sometimes you don't remember what you read about before.
Does that make you do anything differently?
No.
Okay. All right, I think that's it for now.